Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Aisle. I'm your host, Nikki Wolf. Now, I know we've talked quite a bit about gut health, detoxification, and digestion. And today we are diving back in and talking more about how we can support our gut health. Now, our special guest today, Nikki Price. She is the founder of Inner Eco Liquid Fermented Coconut Water. And if you haven't already listened to our first episode where we discussed the genesis of Inner Eco, how it started and where it came to be and why it started, pause this video, go ahead and jump on over there and give that a listen. But today we are going to dive deeper in and what is Inner Eco? Why do we need it? Who can use it? And just all the 101s, everything you need to know about this incredible, rich, nutrient-dense, fermented coconut water. Nikki Price, thank you so much for joining and coming back.
Thanks, Nikki. Good to see you.
Likewise, I am really excited to discuss more about this incredible product that is so approachable, it's affordable, it is liquid gold to our bodies. And so, let's just start off. What is Inner Eco?
I love how you use the phrase liquid gold because it was one of the words from the days in the kitchen when I was making batches and the living effectiveness it had in people's inner ecosystems. And now today we know how effective fermented cultured foods are and what they do in the gut and the brain connection. And it's just been incredible because it's been such a journey over the last 20 years. So I think one of the things, and that kind of to dive right into what makes us so special and unique, is the fact that it's not a supplement, even though we're carried in the supplement coolers and all your natural grocery stores like Whole Foods and Natural Grocers and Sprouts. And it's in that supplement cooler, but it's technically not a supplement. It's actually a food. And it's not just a food. And we know that food is instantly absorbed into our system, but it's a living food and it's fresh. And so as you can see in this video, this is kind of how things all started, taking young Thai coconuts and literally taking that water, which, as we know, the miracle effects of raw coconut water was actually used in World War II as a saline replacement. Isn't that incredible? People that
so fascinating.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. It's the same composition as human blood plasma is raw, fresh coconut water. So 20 years later, we're still making it the same way, but we are still bringing the coconuts in from Thailand and we crack them open in our facility in Colorado. And this is, what you're seeing right now is our headquarters. So it went from my kitchen to my garage to our manufacturing facility. So no co-packing is involved in this process. It's always been manufactured by us. Our team, Yuvia, who's head of manufacturing, she's been with us from day one. This is Laura. She's also been with us from day one of conception of the company. So I'm so blessed that you can feel so good that knowing that this product is freshly made, freshly packed, and it also goes to the fact that so much of every product that's on the shelf today, Nikki, is in plastic. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I know sometimes we have to do plastic, but when we can, especially if it's something that's liquid, right, and it's a food that's literally living in that bottle, I think it's even more important to do glass. It's not, I understand we don't have to do plastic or glass with everything, but especially with this particular product, it's very important.
Well, and a few things that, popped out to me is one thing that I learned early on, the fact that we are shipping those whole coconuts, or you guys are shipping the whole coconuts to Colorado, there's some unique benefits behind that, whereas a lot of times in Thailand, they're cracking it there and bottling it, and there's certain procedures that you have to do. So can you tell us more about the reason we are sending them whole and cracking them very in a short amount of time span? What's the benefits behind that?
So believe me, over the years, we've tried to just streamline the manufacturing process to make it as effective as possible. So believe me, it would be much easier to just use coconut water and then culture the coconut water, whether it was, say it was an organic frozen coconut water or just something that was pasteurized that we could get from overseas. And then we just either thaw it out or we just get it pasteurized and just add or inoculate it with our live cultures. We've tried and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work as effectively. Nothing. It doesn't taste the same. It doesn't have the same reaction. It's really kind of special and unique because I think well, as Laura talks about in our video, we're the only people that are cracking coconuts in Colorado.
So because it's not pasteurized, you're getting all those incredible benefits that most of, the coconut water on the shelf, yes, you're getting electrolytes and the natural sugars, but are you really getting all those nutrients in there?
Right. That's exactly it. And we're going to dive, this will be in another podcast, but we've heard the word prebiotic. Well, that prebiotic in Inner Eco is that natural fiber and that fresh and that natural sugar that's the coconut water is encompasses. So those two things are the medium prebiotic that feed the probiotic. So it's pretty cool because it's a living inner ecosystem in the bottle.
Absolutely. Now, Nikki, can you give us a little insight on why do we need this fermented coconut water or just, probiotics? I think probiotics is a buzzword that a lot of us have heard about. We all know it to be extremely beneficial, but why do we need it? And really, who should be using it or taking it?
Yeah, great question. So, we have been consuming, well, if you look at the world, cultures in different countries throughout the world have been consuming fermented cultured foods for over 1,000 years. So what we're using is a traditional kefir culture. So we know it's effective. It's a combination of strains of Lactococcus, Lactobacillus, good yeast bacteria. So it's a symbiotic blend of non-competing strains that have been around from the beginning of time. So we know they work.
And real quick, just to cut you out, when you say symbiotic,
good question.
What do you mean by that?
Symbiotic is a term that people use to distinguish whether or not the strains are competing with each other or if they're working in harmony in the gut.
Fantastic. Yeah. So symbiotic meaning they're supporting one another.
Exactly. Okay, because we know that works, right? Because I feel so blessed because we took two things in nature. I promote fresh coconut water and traditional kefir cultures. We just put them together and it was just like liquid gold happened. It's just like magic. So that's the first part. And what was the second part of your question?
Is who should be taking this?
Great question.
Obviously, I think everybody can benefit, but who are those people that this should be in your fridge and in your belly on an everyday basis?
So the way I like to look at this question is we all know the standard American diet and that traditional pyramid on what we're supposed to be eating. I've always believed that fermented foods should be in that food pyramid. We're the only country in the world that does not consume fermented foods regularly. We don't have we have some countries that kimchi is just part of a daily occurrence. It's just we don't,
like, kids bring it to school in elementary and like their lunch pails.
Kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, kefir, kombucha, Bragg's apple cider vinegar. If we just rotate amongst all of those just a little bit every day in our diet, and Inner Eco is so easy because you literally, I tell people, you don't need to pour it out on a tablespoon. Use your shot glasses. You just take a shot. Sometimes I know it's hard to remember to get that kimchi and put it in a salad or on your plate, but it's just so easy and so much fun. And you just feel so much better. I just can't, there are no words, but it just, remember, it's not you are what you eat, it's you are what you digest. And fermented foods are pre-digested. And what they'll do is they'll help you to break down like enzymes do. They help you to break down your food, absorb your nutrients better. So you'll actually get more, we eat so much organic food or we're trying to take a lot of supplements, but the fermented foods, things like Inner Eco will actually help you to absorb all those awesome supplements like Life Seasons and all those organic foods. So
absolutely. So, I mean, it sounds like everybody can benefit. Are there people that just completely come to mind where you're like, you absolutely should be on an Inner Eco or some sort of probiotic on a daily basis?
Yeah. The first group of people that comes to my mind, because I got 2 testimonials a couple weeks ago. It was kind of interesting. Unrelated people, both women, suffering from chronic inflammation to the point where they were being treated with the doctor for a chronic inflammation so bad that it was affecting their day-to-day functioning of life. And they both emailed me and said this was the only thing that I had changed in my diet. And I'm like, I'm moving around. I'm like going to places I hadn't been able to go to in the past. And they were just so grateful. Another woman too, actually, this was the week after that, who said she's been in pain since 2009, 24/7. And she took 1 sip of Inner Eco within about 20 to 30 minutes and her pain was gone. Isn't that crazy? And she's been drinking it every day and her pain has not come back. Just crazy.
So that is so neat.
Think about a mom who's trying to take care of her family and, maybe she gets the $50 pills, but then it's like, oh, now I've got to get the gummies or yogurt for my kids with the probiotic. Whereas you can take care of your whole family with Inner Eco, and then your kids are learning the taste of sour fermented foods. So then they develop those taste buds to enjoy sour foods versus everything being so sweet. So I can't think of one person that wouldn't benefit, because I'm not even, digestive. Not just person.
Even your dogs, your pets.
Thank you. I tell people we're family friendly, including the family pet. So just a little cat food in the dog food and the cat food. Absolutely. 100%. It tastes great. So kids love it. And we're trying to keep kids healthy as they're in school these days. And especially during cold and flu season. Absolutely. 100%. Boost up.
Absolutely. So for the immune support, and one of my favorite groupings of individuals is those facing UTIs.
Oh.
And for those of us listening, it's not just women. Although women are more prone to UTI, men can get UTIs as well. And so can you tell us a little bit of how this is beneficial and 2 different ways that we can take it in order to support the relief of UTIs?
It is a large demographic, are women of our customers, and it's because a lot of women suffer from yeast imbalance issues. So obviously drink a shot, and I'd always say twice a day if you're working on an issue, once a day just for maintenance well-being. But if you are working on a yeast imbalance issue, you can always take the original flavor and use it topically. For instance, soaking a pad or a tampon. It works on contact.
Brilliant.
In fact, we tell people put your original in a spray bottle too, and you can use it topically. Natural hand and body spray, deodorant, facial toner.
So brilliant. If you are listening, and so many women, I mean, obviously men too, but so many women face the troubles of UTI, especially if you're traveling a lot. I went to Israel a few years ago, and so many of the girls in my group were struggling with UTIs because you're not quite as hygienic, maybe when you're traveling around and you're not, you're eating different foods and whatnot. And so obviously it might be a little bit harder to carry something like this in Israel, but if you're traveling, most health food stores across the country sell Inner Eco, making sure if you are putting this topically to use the original one. It's not like there's going to cause any harm, but it might just be a little sticky if some of the flavors, right?
Which are flavored just with sweet leaf stevia, plant essences, and flavor oils. But for some, it could be a little sticky. You'll smell good though.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a natural perfume. But yeah, soaking a pad, a tampon, spraying it directly on the area, and taking it internally, but then also adding in urinary life seasons. That is the dream team. Talk about symbiotic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Those are supporting one another to help relieve if you have struggled with UTIs and yeast infection, and you're like, I've had to go back to antibiotics because nothing worked. You have to give this a try. And let us know. Reach out on Instagram to Life Seasons, Inner Eco. Let us know if you've tried this and how it's benefited from you. We would love to hear. Now, before we wrap up, Nikki, any lasting thoughts, any lasting remarks that you'd love to share with our listeners?
I feel like we kind of dove into, like, people who've got inflammatory conditions, yeast imbalance issues, pets, families, but we can't forget the most obvious, right? Which is digestive support. So it's so obvious, but I have to mention people that are, even if it's a sudden onset of like a bloating or gas or reflux, you ate something that is really like all of a sudden your stomach is starting to expand, or let's say you went out the night before and you had a little bit too much fun. Sometimes it's so why I love these little to-go shots. A lot of the natural food stores have these, but within about 10 minutes, it's like it all just, everything settles down and you don't feel that excess, digestive burning or issues going on. Oh, regularity too. Don't forget, most of us are not eliminating daily. So the more you drink of Inner Eco, the more of a cleansing regularity, not like running to the bathroom, but a nice cleansing regularity effect it has on your system. So that's another big one.
Absolutely. There's so much to say about like regular bowel movements. And think about this, when you have those consistent bowel movements, that's pulling all the toxins
Absolutely.
out. So if you are, feeling an overload or a burden of toxins, your liver is your largest internal organ, responsible for over 500 functions. So if we can take something as simple and pure as Inner Eco to aid in that elimination, I mean, what are you guys waiting for?
Oh my gosh.
So I know that we're in...
No, Nikki, I was just thinking, how many moms have toddlers during the whole potty training phase? They're afraid to go to the bathroom, and so they've got this constipation issue that's non-going for toddlers. I'm telling you, the more the kids drink, the more of that cleansing effect it has. And I think about the days where my kids took Miralax, and I'm like, oh no, I wish I would have known better. But when you know better, you do better, right?
I know. Well, and you know what? We're going to wrap up in a second, but one thing I think about is a few years ago, I did a lot of food blogging, and I made kombucha ice cream floats. And I'm like, why can't we do that with Inner Eco? You get like a nice coconut, coconut milk ice cream, and you pour the tropical Inner Eco on top, and you give that to your kids.
It's a great idea.
And that's, you're getting them used to the flavors of fermented foods, but then you get a nice little treat.
I love it.
I think we're gonna have to make one of those on our next get together.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Well, and where can people find more about
our office? Our Instagram is great, Facebook, website, and then just go to that natural food store in the probiotic department, and the staff there is awesome. They can educate you and show you where it is on the shelf in the cooler.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for joining. I always learn so much, and it just gets me excited to all right, I need to go stock up on all my Inner Eco and get it in the system. And it truly is not just beneficial, but it tastes so delicious. So if you have not tried Inner Eco, what are you waiting for? Go to your store, grab some, and be sure to follow Inner Eco on all the social platforms so you can learn more and stay updated with the next episodes that are coming out. Thanks so much, Nikki.
Thanks for supporting a serious probiotic with a bubbly personality. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.